Day 3. The wiring is still a mess, so I'm going to work on that today. I did some reading. I actually found the factory service manual available for download, which is great news. So I've been looking at that and learning a lot. One thing I've learned is that this computer back here, which had been tucked under the tail, was not powering up like I thought it was. If you look at the dash here, in the bottom center there's a light that says fuel system. That was not coming on. Now it is. What happened was that the computer was not grounded. You can see, maybe you can't see. Yeah. These two green wires right here were just tucked away under the frame where they did nothing, and those are the grounds for the computer. Hooked them up, computer came on. The problem now is that fuel system light is supposed to go out after 2 seconds. It's staying on because the computer sees a problem. I've shut off most of the lights in the garage so that you can see this a little better. Right here there's a row of LEDs. They're marked W, 0, 1, 2, and 3. What they're used for is for the computer to read out any fault codes. Since that fuel system light was on, it means we've got a problem somewhere. So let's power the bike up. Ignition on. And the computer does a self-test. Now what I've got is lights 0 and 1 blinking off and on. Looking at the manual, that tells me that it says the throttle position sensor is disconnected or damaged or shorted. So let's have a look at that. This is the throttle position sensor on the motorcycle. It's hooked up to the other side of the throttle shaft. You can't see it now, but I'm turning the throttle. Let's look over here, and on the opposite side you can see the throttle turning. And all this is a potentiometer, a variable resistor, if you will. And it tells the computer how much gas you're giving the bike at any moment. Now, I pulled the wiring out. It runs out here to this rack of connectors, which turns out to be the connectors for all the major sensors. You can see one's unplugged, but that's the fuel pump. I don't want the fuel pump running while there's no fuel in the system. That could damage it. But this one is the throttle position sensor, so I'm going to take a look at that. Alright, this is fairly easy to disconnect. Just use a flat-bladed screwdriver to gently pry the clips up. Be very gentle. On an old bike like this plastic can get very hard and brittle. This stuff seems okay. What's not okay, I can tell you right now, is what's inside. I hope that's showing up. These connectors are absolutely foul. And it's no wonder the computer can't see the throttle position sensor. But before I tear them apart and really try and clean it up, work the connector back a few times, just to see if I can scrape my way down to bare metal again. Let's try that. And I will turn the key on, and let's see what happens this time. Ignition on. Look at that. Fuel system light went on, then came off. That means the computer passed the self-check, which meant the only problem I had there was a dirty connector. But I'm not surprised this bike was not running well without the throttle position sensor. Already it should be happier.